And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another session here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the STC number 126, your weekly dose of Open StarCraft, of Tuna Cup action, pappy. Let's go, let's go. We're here with the STC. I'm, of course, your side VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the lovely people in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome. One little exclamation mark B in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we have our initial round of 32 match. Let's go, baby. Let us go. As spawning in the top left hand corner of Title Citadel, as we quickly there we go. We have our red Protoss player, our red Protoss himself, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Rake. And spawning in the right hand corner, we have the pink Zerg player, representing 3D Clan. It is Iosup. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our initial PvZ. Again, the bracket is looking quite stacked here, surprisingly so. Usually it's stacked over the weekends, but here we are live on a Tuesday, and we have some amazing participation in regards to the Korean and European scene. We'll, of course, get into the rest of the bracket momentarily. For the time being, though, we do have our initial matchup. We have our initial PvZ. Let's go. Let us go. As we have our initial matchup, we have our PvZ. Likewise, I do apologize if I do slow my words a little bit. I am very fatigued. I was able to nap, thankfully. I was able to sleep for like 3-ish hours, 2 to 3 hours, 2.5. I was like a 2.5 hour nap. In between broadcasts, we were live earlier this morning with, of course, the TLMC 22 first judging stream covering half of the maps. And we should be having another judging stream on Friday as well. Later on tonight, after this broadcast, I'll be finalizing those scores and finalizing my thoughts and giving feedback on the first half of maps. So I will be doing so again. That'll be later on tonight. If you missed out on the TLMC judging stream, check out the VOD. Do check out the VOD, as it was a lot of maps, and I do feel like towards the end, you know, I was just we had a little bit less to say just because we had gone through so many at once. No. But regardless, I do recommend it. Hope it's able to give a little bit insight as to when it comes to our thought process, of course, when it comes to approaching different maps, what we look for, what we don't look for, things of that nature. Otherwise, we're getting into our PvZ so far. Hash gas full, standard opener out of our Zerg player. Likewise, Rake going for his own gate expand or gate cyber expand. Everything's looking as it should be so far. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Welcome to Title Citadel. Title Citadel is one of the larger maps on the map, longer rushes by ground. Of course, as a result of that, we do often see a lot of mid-game here, but there are some other kind of tendencies that we do see on Title Citadel. Because the bases are so spread out, it can be difficult to keep up in the mid to late game when it comes to aggressive rotations and army movement. That is true. Can be difficult. So we'll see how players will approach this. Let's go, let's go. It's catching up in the chat. Worker is higher than an SCV. On an outer belt asteroid mining operation. Smooch. It's a busy week, papi. It's a busy week. With the TLMC, with PvZ Cup, with Kung Fu Cup. I'm on the fence about PvZ Cup tomorrow. I might just go live a little bit later with PvZ Cup. That might just be the plan. To maybe get some extra sleep or to get some extra work in, because I need to find time to go through the maps themselves. But We'll figure it out, papi. We'll figure it out. We'll make it. Duh. Otherwise, oh my god, as we do have a Stargate opener out of Rake going into a Void Ray first into a Fast Forge. Wait, what? Now, typically with a Fast Forge after a Stargate Void Ray opener, this leads into Sky Toss. The links do poke in, so far we do re-wall behind this, thankfully in time, and Rake, he does not get out with the Adept. Adept really does go down. Oh no, the Lings! Yeah, Lings, they do flood in, they get us around here on the Adept. There's no battery. They do, of course, get the initial Forge, and they confirm the Void Ray behind this as well. As I mentioned, Void Ray into Forge typically leads into Sky Toss, and there it is. Fleet Beacon is revealed. Second Stargate is revealed. Iosup sees everything. Iosup, he sees all, he knows all, he confirms the Sky Toss coming his way. At this point, Rake has to commit. There's no shall we cancel and throw down a bunch of different tech structures. At this point, I feel like we're committed, and there it is, +1 air attack. So +1 air attack on the way. Rake, he does double down. Iosup at least knows what's going on. And behind this, Iosup has a couple of choices to make. He could go into a lair, into all these gases, into a Spire, into Corruptor Queen, or he can go into early Hydras and try to go for a Hydra timing attack instead with Ling Hydra and go for an all-in and break the third expansion. Both options are possible, both are viable. When it comes to these Hydra timings and Hydra all-ins, they are of course more risky because if you miss that window, if you miss your timing, then you will fall behind. So what's it gonna be? Oh my goodness, we're going for a Mothership rush. Jesus. Mothership is on the way. Is gonna be Spire Queen, Corruptor Queen. So a much more secure kind of variation here of anti-Sky Toss army. Carriers are amassing, not Tempest, so we're going for a carrier rush. Let's go. With Mothership support. You're saying light as a mule. In more ways than one. The name of the mule, it all makes sense now, Papi. It all makes sense. True, true. Ah, no. As Rake does move out to apply pressure, and is looking to force to cancel. The Queens, they will respond. They react, they respond. So if I'm able to turn away. And behind this, we're building up into 4 Stargates. So 4 Stargates, mass carrier production. Corruptors, they will handle themselves well against all these carriers. Is true. As for the time being, Iosup is just droning, saturating, throwing down safety spore crawlers, +1 flyer carapace is on the way. 11 Corruptors in production as well. Mothership is moving in. Jesus, how many units are we recalling? It's not that much. Okay, we recall 2 carriers across the map, but the Corruptors, they're out in time. Now there is a base recall available, true. There's that base recall. Queens all come together, Corruptors as well, plenty of anti-air. Corruptors, they move in, there's that base recall, and the Mothership will get away. It does get away. Now it's time to give chase. It's time to move out. Upon the revelation of all these Corruptors, we have mass Void Ray in production. But we should be able to hit first before that wave of Void Rays arrive. With hunting for the Mothership, hunting for the carriers. Otherwise, we kind of caustic spray down the buildings. Speaking of, let's go. Going for the Fleet Beacon. I feel like we could have spread that a little bit here over like 2 or 3 buildings. Fleet Beacon does go down, but Void Rays are still amassing. And due to the fact we failed here to catch out the carriers or catch out the Mothership, the game will continue. The game will continue here. Iosup now has a drone up, has a saturate to build up into a maxed out army. Ideally, you don't just have pure Corruptor, you do have spellcasters to help support, so Infestors or Vipers. Ideally against Void Rays, you do go Viper, as Void Rays are prone to sacking. I mean, ideally Parasitic Bomb plus Fungals can work well. But at this point, Iosup no longer has dive potential. The Void Ray count is a little bit too high. How many so far? 8. Oof. Yeah, 8 Void Rays. Infestors are on the way. Hive is now being researched. Working on that Hive. 2 beacons. Yes, that was a mistake. There was he already threw down a beacon behind the mineral line to get Flux Veins. Got a second beacon here. That was a mistake. It's fine though. Like he can afford it. Like he. What I will say though is the 4th base is delayed. At this point, there's nothing stopping Rake from expanding, getting a 4th. There's nothing stopping him. Instead of getting a 4th base, he's throwing down more cannons, shield batteries, more pylons. He's delaying his own economy. You see Iosup getting ready with his Spore Forest. Jesus. We're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna. Ay, ay, ay. Let's go. So I'm just opening my VPN for when I need it. Setting up. We have 5 more infestors. I believe 0 vipers yet. Yeah, no vipers. Going into neural. It's going to be an alternate option. So the neural targets should be the mothership, the carriers mainly. I guess we could try to neural. We could fungal then try to neural a bunch of void rays, I guess. Armies maxing out. Again, what's really hurting Rake more than anything is lack of 4th base. This could have been taken much sooner. Much sooner. So very delayed 4th expansion. Which means the bank, it's not really massing up. It's going to be mass void ray. Jesus. But thankfully there are going to be 2 vipers. So again, fungals, parasitic bombs, like that's going to be the name of the game. You lock down the army. As I mentioned before, void rays are very prone to stacking. As void rays start to move out. And they will soon reveal themselves. As void rays, they move in. They move in, they do catch 1, 2 spores, the army will react. We do see Iosup is out of position, so this base will go down. That was a hive, by the way. Oh boy. No. No more vipers. Yeah, massive snipe. There is always the base recall, snipes Aspire as well, very high value, very high value targets. Does get the dive, lands a power bomb, has to respect the void rays. Pulls away. Oh no, he does fight head on, and the Corruptor's A just melts. Yeah, Corruptor's A melt here to the void rays. Every Corruptor should be going down. The Neurals though. Okay, the mass Neural. Let's go. The Neurals surround. Again, Corruptors was struggling, and I wasn't sure if we could mass Neural all the void rays, but apparently we can. Just Neurals all the void rays, and with that, Rake, he will lose his entire army. The power of Neural. I had no faith, Pappy, but true. Hey, a Skytos army without any spellcasters, it's kind of one and done. Remember, Rake, he chose not to supplement the army with any High Templar, with stores, with feedbacks, just pure Void Ray. And if it was against pure Corruptor, like this was like a mono battle, then it would have worked, right? It would have worked well. But one army had spellcasters, the other did not. Iosup is moving out, this time with Ultras. Interesting. Do we have a Spire? No, okay. Yeah, okay. There was no Greater Spire anyway. So no Greater Spire, no regular Spire. We have Corruptors reinforcing. Then we go back. Our Spire now is going to be thrown down. Now does realize that there is no way to make it more Corruptors, which is a little bit concerning. Iosup is moving in. Knocking down the forward expansion. Void Rays that will go to town, but that's what the Infestors are for. The Neurals. Takes over the Voids back. As we can now rotate over, knock down more bases, base after base. There's no real way for Rake to really deal with this anymore. At this point, has no bank, has no resources. Can't get into like Tempest, for example, never teched into High Templar. And now we commit. We send it. Meanwhile, big shout out to Luis, GGG. God, thanks so much. Thanks so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great live session as we mass Neural all the Voiders once again. The mass Neural. He got him. GG gets called. GG gets called, and Iosup takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG all players. In the chat, what league is this cup for? It's open to all players. That's why we have some very high caliber players in the tournament itself. Players like Classic, players like Hero. We got the best Protoss players in the world. But first things first, of course, GG all played. Iosup does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if that lead will continue. We'll see if Rake can bounce back. Winding it back when it comes to Rake's setup here, I'm not opposed to the idea of responding to Corruptors with Massive Void Ray, but there were a couple of issues that came into play here. One, Massive Void Ray doesn't scale too well into a longer game, so if you want to make use of this kind of armor, you do have to hit earlier. We saw that he was opposed to establishing a 4th base, a very late 4th expansion, very late kind of setup to get into a longer game state. The Massive Void Ray did fall out of favor, did kind of fall off when it came to being scaled due to the incorporation of our Infestors. Infestor plus Viper, but mainly the Infestor, as you saw. Typically, in a longer, later game, you would have, say, a Temple Archives, so Twilight Council into Temple Archives in a high Templar to support the army, not just with feedbacks against the Infestors, but also Storms. Storms do a great job at just zoning away Corruptors to really complete your army. Here, Rake, he went for something more aggressive, or I should say just something that's ideally meant to end the game a little bit earlier, but alas, we did actually wait quite some time before moving out. That was on Rake, as we did bank up all those Warriors back at home, and we'll see how he does adjust coming into game number 2. This morning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we do have our red Protoss player down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Rake. Un momento. Fix up his name. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the pink Zerg player. We have the pink Zerg himself representing 3D Clan. It is Iosup. I also want to give credit where credit is due. If you recall, a lot of what came down last game came down to the scouting. If you recall, the Ling run by, the Ling harass actually broke through the natural base, broke into the main, and scattered everything. Saw the initial forge, saw all the Stargates, saw the fleet beacon, and Iosup was able to react and respond very early on with mass droning with the faster lair, and of course with all the gases into a faster spire as well. So Iosup had a lot of time to react, a lot of time to respond, a lot of time to actually react or to build up towards the anti-Sky army. A lot of time, baby. Here we go. Here we go. First, we have once again Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Iosup. Likewise, Rake setting up back at home, and welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a much smaller map. Smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on a map like Tourmaline, and we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. We'll see how our players will approach. Oh, as we do go for a forge. Okay. Go for the cannon rush. Cannon rush behind the mineral line. Iosup is not aware. Oh. No. He doesn't know about it. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know. There we go. The cannons are being thrown down. Iosup is in the dark. The Overlord should be covering his expansion, but the Overlord is out of position. That's on Iosup. Now he knows. Now he sees. It's too late. Yeah, the cannons are already getting up. There's a cancellation. Iosup cannot defend, and likewise, you do see Rake cancelling as well. Now remember, this is not an all-in. This is not a committed cannon rush. It was a forge expand. It is a faster Nexus. This is what a quote-unquote cannon rush is. So right now, Rake is ahead. He got all he wanted. Rake, he threw down 1 pylon, 1 cannon, and with that, he was able to force a cancel and contain Iosup on a 1-base economy, while he's already getting his second natural up and running. His second base up and running. So Rake does take an economic lead, does confirm the location of the expansion. From here, it's not really worth throwing down extra pylons and cannons just because your opponent already has Ling production. Meanwhile, it is going to be a 1-base all-in. 1-base all-in, Bailey Nest, and a macro hatchery as well. The probe goes in for a rescout, and the probe will confirm. Will he confirm? Oh, the Lings! They zone away. Big denial here. The probe is going to be forced out of the main, and the all-in has not been seen. Back at home with the Stargates, this should lead into Oracles. Could go into Void Ray again, but regardless, I would say that Iosup is on the timer. Lings here, this isn't really any kind of major tell to be scouted. Rake should be looking for drones, should be looking for saturation. This probe may confirm the all-in. Plus one air attack is on the way. Here we go. Link speed kicks in. Does spot 4 links here, plus the extra links that we saw earlier. I mean, there's no reaction. I mean, that's not much of a tell, really. And here comes the... Oh, he pulled the boys! The boys are being pulled. Banelings do more fin. It's all or nothing. Banelings are revealed. And he's going for the wall. The wall is open? Okay, no. Does try to break down the initial cyber core. It does go for the cyber core. Cyber goes down to half HP. Nice drone drilling here on the forge. I mean, did hit bare buildings. The forge is going to go down. Better surface area. Breaks through. Does break through into the main. Avoids the cannons. Busts into the main base. Void Ray has arrived. And how many workers can we kill? Remember, we can pull back to the cannon. Up. As Baling does run away. Can we connect? No, the Baling is targeted down, but the links are popping up. And links are doing damage. Behind this, there is no cannon, but there is a cannon. There is that shield battery as well. I feel like we just have to pull back to the side defense as we just try to find. Oh my god. Yeah, the probes are going down. GG gets called though as the all-in fails, and Rake ties up the series 1-1. GG. Those are Void Ray, cannon, shield battery. GG, well played. With that, Rake does hold, Rake does defend, and we're going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a really well positioned there for Iosup. I will say that for the most part, like there was no confirmation of the all-in that was coming his way, but we saw that the railings were revealed, and we saw that that Rake was able to re-wall behind his initial pylon as well. It just took a little bit too long to break into the expansion. Even if he did, though, there was already stacked defense as well. GG. GG, well played. We're getting into game number 3, and we'll see how the story ends. We shall see. Simulation successful. Exactly. Here we go. As we are getting ready for the ace match, it's going to be on White Rabbit. Oh, my apologies. I should also fix up the initial logo. There we go. Okay, it's going to be fixed up. As we head into the ace match. Once the series wraps up, we'll be able to delve into the rest of the bracket, and we can see kind of where this is leading us. For the time being, though, here we go. Spawning in the bottom-hand corner of the White Rabbits, we have the red Protoss player. We have the Hyper 1 Protoss. Tying things up. Cannon rushing in the first game. Oh, sorry, the second game. It is Rake. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the pink Zerg player representing 3D Clan. It is Iosup. Here we go. As again, last game we had Rake go for a macro cannon rush, go into the earlier Nexus, into the Forge, into the successful cannon rush across the map, but likewise Iosup did not park his Overlord over his natural. That was on Iosup to not be able to react in time. As a result, he was forced to cancel and forced into a 1-base all-in. But again, alas, the 1-base all-in did struggle to really get much damage done. There was a Void Ray, cannon, shield batteries, plenty to defend, and in the end, Rake did hold. And with that, we're going for an early pull. Okay, for the first time this series, a much more aggressive opener here from the Zerg. Much earlier spawning pool into a later expansion. Once again, a Nexus into Forge. Yeah. Same opener. Macro cannon rush, but because the earlier spawning pool, because the earlier link production, and what should be a better overloading position, there we go, the overlord does spot the probe. With that, no cannon rush should be successful here. The initial scouting probe also confirms the early pool. Who knows? Rake is aware of the early spawning pool. Back at home, we should be seeing a defensive cannon. There it is. And the game will continue. Ideally, the early pull allows Iosup to gain some map control and to threaten the pylon early on, but with the early cannon, Rake should be fine. As from here, we're joining, we're saturating at late gases here from our Zerg player, bear that in mind. Because the gas is so late, we often do lead into skipping link speed, and when the gases are finally taken, just going to roaches instead, into lair tech. So Iosup does attempt to break in. That's true. 3 damage. Oh no! No, no! There we go. Yeah, 3 damage here on the forge. No. Hey, the cannon's gaining value. 2 Zergling kills. Cybercro's almost done. That will allow for a Stalker. Stargate's on the way. From here, Iosup is still joining. Still saturating. I can see this leading into Skytoss, by the way. Stargates, we have the wall off on here on 2 bases with the Forge. It feels like Void Rain to Fleet Peeking again. Feels to be the case. Again, as we mentioned before, because the gases are so late, typically you want to be skipping link speed and going straight into a lair. +1 fire attack is on the way. This confirms it's going to be Skytoss, but of course, Iosup is unaware. Not yet. He's in the dark. He's not yet aware. So lair has begun. That's a 4-minute lair. Blood picks in. And this time we are going for an earlier Twilight Council. Okay. This could be Void Ray into charge. A +1 attack is on the way as well. It must be charge. Overlord goes down. Overlord didn't end up getting eyes on the Twilight Council. Big Sal. Oh, he cancels. Never mind. He cancels the Twilight Council, throws out more Stargates to Fleet Beacon, and meanwhile his opponent has been duped. Roach Warren's on the way. Link speed is on the way. 2 things that do not help in this position. They're great against what should be charge on this on the way, but there are no charge loss, not anymore. Once again, canceled +1, restarted just to make it look like he's getting an upgrade. It's all about that Skytoss. It's all about the carriers. Ooh, and it's going to be roaches into hydras. Okay, so this army does not scale anywhere near as well into a longer and later game. I will say that mass hydra does have a window in time where you can kill, but you're all in, right? Like you have to hit a very strong timing here with roach hydra to try to kill your opponents as they get into Skytoss. It's not going to be easy. It's not easy, man. As Rake is supply blocked. Not like this. Carrier production has been delayed. Brutal supply block. Roaches are amassing. Currently, Iosup has yet to really confirm what's going on. Lings, they confirm the 3rd. Iosup cutting workers at 3 base saturation. He can get a 4th base just for larva and just fixate purely on Roach Hydra. He is still amassing. Cannons are on the way. Shield batteries on the way. The first wave of carriers are about to pop. Here he comes. Iosup is pushing. And there's going to be, again, 2 carriers. 2 carriers in the mothership. All in has not been spotted.
Mineral field depleted.
Now he knows. Now he's aware. Mothership is revealed. Oh, that is giving Iosup some second thoughts. 11 Hydras are on the way. So right now, more cannons, more batteries. Can Rake hold on? It's going to be 18 Hydras. The carrier count shouldn't be high enough. Like Iosup, this should be enough to break this position. Oh, as we do have a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. When it comes to this kind of game state, remember, Iosup is all in. Iosup, he has no fourth. He has no fourth expansion. He's completely all in. Either this kills or he dies trying. Roach speed is still on the way. Unfortunately, he did spend a bunch of resources on Burrow and Tunneling Claws, which wasn't really worth it. Right now, the Roaches, you could argue, oh, he can like go for some harass or something like that, but there are cannons and shield batteries everywhere anyway. Like this, he cannot sneak past the army. So I would say that was a waste of resources, and that did slow him down because we could have already had Roach speed by now. If that's what's stopping him. So very, very tense situation here. When it comes to the main army of the Protoss, we have 2 carriers currently, and the other 2, the next wave, are still on the way. Still on the way.
Game resumed.
So we are back. Army does commit. Takes on the first 2 cannons. There's Cloak. Okay, Cloak is activated. Cannons H5. Cannons do survive. Nice Roach Hydra. Ooh. Gonna be zoned away. You're gonna be zoned back. They're going to be holding their own. Cannons are going to be going down, and without that ground support here, Hydras, they can overwhelm. He can do it. Again, there's not that many interceptors. Not that many. And he's done it. He has broken through. Again, it was only 3 carriers here. Not enough. You could make an argument that the supply block earlier, I mean, if it wasn't for that, there would have been a faster 2 set of carriers, for sure. Oof. Catching the carrier, getting 1. And he's done it. At this point, the Hydras, they've overwhelmed the 3rd base, broken the 3rd. And Rake cannot max out. Not with 2 bases. Not like this. Not like this, man. I appreciate that Iosup is now throwing down a Spire, just in case. Double Spire, double upgrades. Once in, you just stand and fight. Yeah, you just stand and fight the Interceptors. Nice stutter stepping. Punishing the army. The one thing in his mind should be to just make sure there's no like ninja expansions, there's no alternate 3rd base. As we just back off, build up. Now it's time to expand, now it's time to join. And Rake should not recover from here. If he had some splash damage, then maybe. He's pushing out. He's built up to 7 carriers, soon to be 9. With 9 carriers full of interceptors, he might have enough. Oh, bleeding out Hydras. Uh-oh. Yeah, these Hydras are getting caught out. He's going to be sandwiched here. Cannons, they also add some DPS. Cannons, they help out, and every single Hydra is going to go down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, he should not have been out here. This is an expensive army. Okay. Bunch of Hydras do fall. Carter production has begun. Likewise, Void Rays are on the way as well. Now, remember, there's still no expansion, right? Like, Rake still has no economy, so it's all or nothing. The army's pushing. Remember, it is 8 carriers. Void Rays are still on the way. They won't be a part of the main fight. Not the initial fight, I should say. As we now have 15 Corruptors. Clerk will factor in. Mineral line goes down. Oh, as he's going for another expansion. Oh! Does get a Corruptor. Gets 1. There's a slow zone. Nice slow zone. Nice Cloak. Corruptor's going to be zoned away. Another expansion falls, and no shot. Rake is doing it. Rake is doing it. I mean, losing all those Hydras earlier was brutal. Imagine those Corruptors with Hydra support, with real Hydra support. He could have taken a fight, but no, everything is going down. I'm getting ladder flashbacks. I mean, but you kill the. I mean, to be fair, if it was me, I wouldn't even have these Corruptors. I'd be stuck on Hydras. I'd die even faster. True. But here we go. One carrier goes down. Just the one. Was it a Void Ray? That was a carrier. And this Scatus army is overwhelming. Yeah, it does overwhelm. Breaks through the Queens of the Spore Forest. Now pushing into the natural. Corruptors try to come in from behind. But there's the cloak once again. Oh no. Mothership does fall. He commits. He commits in. Gets one. Gets two. There's 4 carriers left. It's not enough. Yeah, there's not enough here. GG gets called, and Rake will overwhelm. He'll claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Rake will claim the series. Iosup played it out quite well, to be honest. Iosup, he was able to commit to his Hydra all-in. I was concerned he was taking too long, but no, he was able to break the 3rd expansion, break the economy, and force the all-in out of Rake. He even went double spire behind it. He droned up. Unfortunately, though, if you recall, we were judging his army movements, and he threw away all those Hydras. Not saying that those Hydras would have won a head-on fight, but the Hydras would have played a big part when it came to supporting all those Corruptors to actually be able to make a stand against the initial carrier push from Rake. So to throw all those Hydras away was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. That was what, like 20 Hydras getting caught out in the map, getting caught out in the open, and with that, everything just snowballed out of control. There was not enough support. Corruptors on their own could not hold their own, and GG, well played. Rake will claim the series. He'll advance on into the next round. Let's go. Let us go. Exclamation mark. Be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Let us switch our scenes over and catch up on the brackets.